seeing an increasing trend towards organizational transformation in the Asia Pacific, moving away from individual product development or line of business-led type of innovation. This sort of implies a greater cohesiveness between the interaction of IT and business, certainly a more disciplined approach towards innovation and transformation that is quite heartening to see in the region. Asia Pacific has most of the time been associated with an emerging market trying to come to grips with its growth. But right now we're really seeing banks really achieving that, really coming up with contextualized strategies for their own markets. Among most of the FI winners that we've seen in the past, not just 2016, but really going back as long as our programs has been orchestrated, most of the winners of FIRA has demonstrated an understanding of the market that they operate in and how technology can serve these needs. In contrast, it's not so much chasing the window dressing of technology, but really putting functionality first and form later. So Singapore has been one of the more matured financial ecosystems in the ASEAN and definitely home to one of the more matured super-regional bank cross AP. So the direct competing country as far as competition can be construed in this space would be Malaysia. Malaysia has bred and incubated its own financial franchises since early parts of the decade. We've seen the form of Maybank, CIMB, more recently Hong Leong, pushing regional boundaries to set up operations across the region. And we are not just talking about offices, we're talking about full-fledged financial propositions delivered into these different countries. Innovation in this space, how the success of Singaporean banks can be replicated by other countries or other institutions, really falls onto the fact of how these individual innovators can demonstrate that they can address the very specific needs of the individual markets they operate in and coming up with contextualized strategies for the markets they operate in. Innovation has never been so much a question of tug of war between emerging markets or developed markets. Just because you're operating in a developed market doesn't mean you have a greater capacity to innovate. There's definitely some operational or logistical considerations. Developed markets will have richer banks that have more flexibility in investments. But then in terms of emerging markets, banks are exposed to more diverse or fragmented needs. And therein lies the opportunity for these franchises in these smaller markets to demonstrate their capacity to innovate in the future.